Dear students, today let us start the discussion on budget. And you all know that this is the most important area for our prelims and mains examination. So you need to organize various components of the syllabus in accordance with the latest developments happening on budget. Today, I have organized the information from both Indian Express and Hindu. And Indian Express, please read that completely. And the newspaper is more organized in accordance with our syllabus. So don't forget to read Indian Express for today. So in this context, the budget is more described as pro-poor, pro-farmer and pro-village. So in this context, what are the village-friendly things or farmer-friendly things proposed in this particular budget? And if you remember the economic survey, it has recommended for a stress towards the agriculture and importance towards the education and healthcare delivery in the country to gain the demographic dividend. So in line with this, the present budget has provided an impetus towards the rural infrastructure, and also it has raised the importance of service, that is social services sector, that is healthcare and education. But the Hindu argues they are not the true raise, they are not the true numbers, and it tries to bring in a different orientation to this picture. The first is irrigation. With regard to the irrigation, previously we had this program, that is Accelerated Irrigation Benefits Program. Around 29 plus programs, projects are pending over here, and they need a budget of around 29 to 30,000 crores. The government did not take this forward, but it has launched another fund that is called Long-Term Irrigation Fund. So this long-term dedicated irrigation fund, what it is expected to do? So it will be managed by the NABARD, and this fund is of 20,000 crore rupees in the initial year, and in this 12,517 crores will be provided as a budgetary support, and the remaining is supposed to be gained by the NABARD through the issue of the bonds. So it means a permanent non-lapsable fund the government is aiming to create towards improvising the irrigation on the rural front. And added to that, this particular program is majorly to cater to the macro and medium projects, that is major and medium projects. And with regard to micro irrigation, already a program was announced, that is Prime Minister's Krishi Sinchai Yojana. It is Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana actually, that is meant for the micro irrigation. And the next thing which has got a huge impetus, that is related to the rural roads. In the last week article, I have discussed to you how the sustainable infrastructure was created through the rural roads under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So in this context, and budget overlay has increased for the rural roads. So increase in irrigation and also the connectivity, it can improvise the livelihood situation in the rural areas. Under the Rural Urban Mission, by 2018, all the villages will be electrified in India. So, and again, we're also bringing in Bharat Binary. In this Bharat Binary, we want to provide for digital education to all the people in this country. So all these are three connectivities. One is road connectivity, power connectivity, and also digital connectivity, raising the e-literacy. These are being stressed. And in this, to provide for non-lapsable fund and a dedicated fund, a new cess is introduced on the services sector, that is Krishi Kalyani cess or Farmers Welfare cess. A 0.5% of cess will be laid on all the taxable services. And after that, the fertilizer subsidy. So if you see the economic survey, it has said the prices of urea need to be improved to maintain the nutritional balance in the soil, to avoid the excessive use of urea. But however, the urea price rise and also the direct benefit transfers introduction, the cash transfer introduction, in the case of the fertilizer subsidy are not spoken by this particular budget document. So by and large, the rural India has got a greater focus with regard to this particular subject is concerned. Now, coming to the next area, So let us see here what are the total highlights of the budget. So with regard to this, the tax on provident funds is introduced. So what is this tax on provident fund? Generally it is going to be seen as negative by the employees. Now we have the three different things. One is employee provident fund, national pension services, and the third thing is superannuation fund. So now, in this case, EPF is totally non-taxable till date and remaining others are taxable. By making 60% of the EPF at the withdrawal stage taxable, so the government wants to bring in a parallelity between all the different kinds of the funds. So in this context, EPF, National Pension Scheme and the superannuation pension, they will be equal. Here the objective is the people shall not choose a fund based on the tax incentive they get, but it shall be based on the benefits or merit of the scheme. They have to look at that. But EPF being having greater tax advantage under exempt, people are more preferring to the EPF to the other fund schemes. This is what is the situation is bound to increase now or improve now. Coming to the social sector expenditure. Now in this case, if you see healthcare and education, the healthcare has got a new impetus. The healthcare budget in the real terms, it has increased by 13%. And a new insurance scheme, health insurance scheme is introduced. That is up to 1 lakh of rupees in the case of the normal individuals. And in the senior citizens up to 1,30,000 rupees will be given as a healthcare insurance, and the details of the program are not yet laid out. And with regard to the dialysis, as India is becoming a capital for non-communicable diseases, so National Dialysis Service Program is launched, and the funds will be sourced through PPP mode, that is public-private partnership mode. Other than that, the National Health Mission, Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, and the health research, everything has got an improved focus in the existing budget. Coming to the education, so among the primary, secondary and tertiary sector, the tertiary sector has got the greater focus. Higher education got the greater focus. A marginal 4.8% increase in the budget is there. But however, the special scheme is being launched. That is called, a special agency is also being launched, which is called Higher Education Financing Agency. And its purpose is to raise the educational institution on par with the global standards. And the existing regulatory standards have to be eased. And the new autonomous public and private institutions will be encouraged under this Higher Education Financing Agency. And Rashtriya Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. Under this, the higher education in the states is promoted and finances are made available to the state universities. So this scheme also has got the allocation around 1,300 crores. But however, primary education did not get enough impetus. The finance minister, what he said is, the focus in the primary education this year, it will be more on quality. Now, on the other hand, Hindu makes the following argument. So if you see the social sector expenditure, it is almost stagnant compared to the last year. The reason is, by absolute terms, it might appear increasing, but by the percentage terms, it is much below the aspired level. And the next is, the social entitlements did not increase in this budget. Either National Social Assistance Program, including the Antyodaya Anna Yojana, an increase in the pension for widows and all these people from 300 to 500 rupees, universalization of the old age pension for greater than 55 years of age, all these things did not heard by the finance minister. So one way it appears the social sector expenditure is increasing, but it is only focused at the highest levels. The next is infrastructure. So infrastructure has got a strong impetus. In this case, 2.21 lakh crores are being allocated toward the infrastructure. the road and port connectivity, it has given a huge focus. So in this case, 97,000 plus crores are allocated only for the roads. And added to that, a five-pronged strategy is being spoken towards the encouraging of the public investment in the infrastructure, where a long-term finance will be made available, in which a national infrastructure investment fund will be taken forward. And also the public-private partnerships will be given a focus by implementation of the Kelkar Committee's recommendations. The objective is to build 10,000 kilometers of national highways and to upgrade 50,000 kilometers of the total state highways. And the minor ports which are established by the private agencies, they appear to be highly successful in India. So in line with the port trusts are also being brought under the private sector management. And the PPPs, there is a lot of litigation which is involved. So to clear this litigation as quick as possible, public utility resolution of disputes bill is being suggested for. And added to that, with regard to the infrastructure, the startup companies also will be given a due focus, and the rural roads will also be given a due focus. And coming to the rural areas, already I have discussed. So it has led to the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Irrigation has got the major focus, and also a cess on Krishi Kalyan cess of 0.5% is introduced on the services sector. So these are the things about this thing. And MG Narega also has got a fresh lease of life. So the peak years of best implementation of MG Narega are 2008-2009. So almost 280 plus crore days work has been allocated under these days. Now, this is going to be improved, and it has slowly fallen from 2011 onwards till date. Now, 38,500 crores are being kept aside for the MG Narega, which is actually a flagship program of UPA government. And the startups. So there is a tax incentive which is proposed for the startup. Under this, any startup which is less than 5 years, it will get total income tax benefit from 3 to 5 years. So it means for 3 years continuously it will get the income tax benefit if the age of this startup is less than 5 years. But however, they are expected to pay something called minimum alternate tax. But however, the greatest improvement is about the presumptive taxation. It means if your turnover is less than 2 crores, so the government will assume that your income is around 8%. You are expected to pay the tax on this 8% of income. Now, if you want to prove that your income is less than 8%, then you have to prepare the books and show it to the government. So if it is less than 8%, you have to show the books. If it is greater than 8%, pay 8%, keep yourself silent. That is what is called presumptive taxation. It is going to improve the professional tax and other related fields in India. So it's a very simplified taxation improvement in this particular budget. And capital markets, and with regard to securities transaction, the tax is improved from 0.017 to 0.05%. So this is what is the major development. Now on to the financial sector. So the recapitalization of the banks was spoken about. It is 25,000 crores of money is infused into the banks to recapitalization. And next is asset management companies. Now 100% FDI is being allowed into these asset management companies. So these are the few improvements on the financial sector. Coming to the taxation. Now, a window period is being given for the taxpayers who fail to disclose their assets. So it means the black money holders within the country, for them a window is being given. So these people, if they pay 45% of their declared income as a tax, they will be totally liberated from the tax payments and other tax related disputes. On the other hand, with regard to Vodafone and Kane India, the tax settlement is a major problem. So in this case, a retrospective taxation issue, what the government has offered is, yes, come and settle the issue once for all, where only the tax arrears are expected to pay, not the money or interest rates or the penalties. So In return to that, Vodafone and Kane, they are supposed to withdraw all their cases which are been filed under BPAM, Bilateral Investment Protection Agreement. So they are supposed to withdraw all their cases. And coming to the personal finance, so up to 5 lakhs rupees, only 3,000 rupees interest, 3,000 rupees benefit has been coming to the individual. And but however, on home loans, an affordable home loan is been brought in. 50,000 rupees of interest subvention is given on the home loan which is less than 35 lakhs of rupees for buying of a house less than 50 lakhs of rupees. So it is expected to give an impetus towards the real estate sector in the secondary towns where the cost of the apartment etc. will be less than 50 lakh rupees. So this is what is the major thing. On house rent allowance, now it is raised to 60,000 rupees for the increase from 24,000 rupees per annum. And next, super rich surcharge. So now a person who has an earnings greater than 1 crore rupees above his income, the tax which he is paying, a surcharge of 15% is expected to pay. So previously the surcharge is 10%, now it is raised to 15%. Now, the salaried class, a googly, what is this? It is about taxation of the Employment Provident Fund. Now, car prices will go up. It is related to the infrastructure cess. Now, a car which is a petrol, LPG or CNG car, on this a 1% cess will be imposed. And a diesel car less than 4 meters and the engine capacity less than 1500 cc, 2.5% of cess. And greater than 1500 cc, it is going to be 4% cess. So these are being infrastructure cess proposed. And after that, why the budget numbers do not add up? What this article says is, now by absolute terms, it appears that the budgetary allocations have increased, but in percentage terms to the GDP, they did not show any increase, and most of this, it's a playing with the numbers. That's what the author argues. Now coming to this particular thing, so there are many fundamental mistakes according to Ashok Desai in this particular budget. Now, the gold ornaments, they are being imposed with the excise duty. And how to monitor this is a major question. And along with this, villages which are open defecation free will be subsidized or will be given incentives. How it will be monitored. And the rural electricity, yes, unless the state electricity boards are being revamped, providing for the electricity to all will be a difficult thing. And income doubling for the farmers within next 5 years, it means the income on average shall increase by 15%. It automatically leads to the inflation tendencies, how it will be addressed. So like this certain fundamental questions, these are the problem over here. These are the articles for today. Thank you very much.